Hi everyone, welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture, we will discuss two important techniques of data preprocessing, that is data normalization and min-max scaling. So we will start with data normalization. So what we do in data normalization? So basically we transform our data in a range of 0 to 1. And this is the equation which we use for data normalization. So what are the steps in data normalization? So first we calculate the minimum value of our data and the maximum value of data. And then we will use this equation for every sample of a data. That is, we subtract the minimum value of a data from each sample, and then we will divide the difference of maximum and minimum value. In that way, we are able to transform our data sample between 0 and 1, which is the range for data normalization. So this is one of the simple example of data normalization. This is our original form of the data. We can see that we have three columns in our data. The minimum value in the first column is 0 and the maximum value is 4. Similarly, the minimum value in the second column is 16 and the maximum is 23. The minimum value in the third column is 10,000 and the maximum value in the third column is 15,600. Now we can apply this normalization equation to each data sample so that we can transform it into the range of 0 and 1. So this is the normalized form of a data. Now, if we can see any of the column, the range is between 0 and 1. So the minimum value in the first column after data normalization is 0 and the maximum value is 1 after data normalization. Similarly, we have 0 and 1 as a minimum and maximum values in each of the other two columns as well. Now, how we perform data normalization? Let's see the example of the first column. So the minimum value in the first column is 0 and the maximum value in the first column is 4. So the difference of maximum and minimum value for the first column is also 4. If I subtract 0 from 4, I will get 4. Now let's transform this 1 into the normalized form, this 1. So this 1 is my value of x. So I will put this 1 here. So x is equals to 1, then minimum value is 0. So when I subtract 0 from 1, I will get 1 here in the numerator. And then I will subtract the minimum value of this column with the maximum values or from the maximum value. So 4 minus 0 will be 4. So my final result will be 1 by 4, which is equals to 0.25. Similarly, we can transform 2 into the normalized form as well. So now x is 2. So if I subtract the minimum value, which is 0 from 2, I will get 2 in the numerator. That is 2 minus 0. And I have the value of 4 in the denominator. That is 4 minus 0. So I have a total value 2 divided by 4. So if I divide 2 by 4, I will get 0.5. So in this way, we have transformed 2 into 0.5. So in this way, we have learned how to transform our data between the range of 0 and 1 by applying the equation of data normalization. The other technique is min-max scaling. Here we can select our own range. That is, if I want to transform my data between -1 and +1, I can select A is equals to -1 and B is equals to -1. Similarly, if I want to transform my data between -2 and +2, in that case, I can select A is equals to -2 and B is equals to +2. So here in min-max scaling, we can select any value of a range. So the first step in min-max scaling is to perform the normalization. First, we have to normalize the data, and after that, we can select the range. So this is the equation of the normalization, which we have already seen now. So after calculating the normalized value of the data, we will use this equation in order to perform min-max scaling. So here is the normalized value, and after the normalization, we will multiply it with the difference of B and A, and then we will add a value of A. So if I select A is equals to -1 and B is equals to +1, in that case, I have to use +1 here and -1 here, and similarly, I have to use -1 here. So if I use A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 1, so if I put B is equals to 1 and A is equals to 0, and similarly A is equals to 0 here, so I will get x scale is equals to x norm. So if I select the value of A as a 0 and b is equals to 1, it means I am again going to perform data normalization. So data normalization is also the special case of min-max scaling if we select a range between 0 and 1. So with min-max scaling, we have the option to select any range. So this is the example of min-max scaling. So this is our original data, and this is the data after performing min-max scaling. So here we have selected A is equals to -1 and B is equals to -1. If we see our column after min-max scaling, we can see that the minimum value is -1 and the maximum value is +1 for each of these three columns. So in this lecture, we learn two important data pre-processing techniques, that is data normalization and min-max scaling. We see that we can transform our data between the range of 0 and 1, and that technique is called data normalization. So there is another technique which we learned in this particular lecture, and that is min-max scaling. In min-max scaling, we learn that we can transform our data into any range which we can select. That is, we have two variables A and B in min-max equation, and we can use any of the range, whether it is between -1 and +1 or -2 and +2. So I hope you understood this lecture. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next lecture.